Alright, hello everyone. Welcome. AP Hunter, how's it going? It's freezing cold, but I've got a nice cup of hot coffee here, which I can clutch to, and it will warm my bones, hopefully anyway. We can sort of get ourselves through. I hope everyone had a good night. Another day filled with technical issues and stress of various forms, which was a little bit annoying, but hey. Microphone volume is still really low. Right, well look, I'm up to 0 now. You're not getting much better than that, because I'm right on the edge of clipping here. That's only a 6 dB difference I just gave you. Alright, well, apparently 0 is where we want to be for that. Alright, anyway. No chipmunk. No, look, the chipmunk thing was really weird. Like, I was basically what I was trying to do is I was trying to figure out, and this was stupid. This was an act of desperation because I already knew that it wasn't this because I hear it on my laptop. I was trying to figure out if the electrical sag thing in my voice was something to do with my sound card or some kind of, well, not sound card, but you know, my onboard audio from this PC or these speakers. Okay, I hear it on headphones and I hear it on speakers here, so I don't know. I was just trying to figure out if it was that, and I saw that there was an option about pitch shifting the audio output, and I was sure it was the audio output. And somehow it ended up in a video. I honestly don't know how it even ended up in that commentary track. So yeah, anyway, then I shifted it back, but that of course changes the timing, and I do know there is just a fucking button I need to hit. There is just an option to keep the tempo the same but change the pitch. It's not hard, but I couldn't remember what it was, and it was late as hell at night when I realised that the bug had been there and that I'd forgotten that I hadn't enabled that option, so I just thought, screw it, I'll just put the chipmunk video up. But anyway, that's not even the stuff that I was messing with. I flashed my motherboard last night, did about 100 restarts trying to figure out this mouse issue, which I've maybe fixed. I enabled a Windows update that caused my CPU to constantly be like at 100, while in Guild Wars. Like, it was absolutely destroying my CPU to play Guild Wars, and I lost all of my frames and everything. That was nuts. So I had to figure out exactly what update it was that I'd installed and then moved back. You know, I really got to a point where I'd started trusting Windows Update. I really had. People are really fucking snobby and gross about Windows because they've had bad experiences with it at some point over the past 20 years of their existence. But, you know, I tried to be a little bit forgiving. I definitely had a lot of rocky stuff during the Windows 7 era. But for Windows 10, I honestly hadn't had any real problems with Windows Update or much of anything, really. I genuinely have been okay through Windows 10, and, you know, I want to factor that into my opinion of it and not be so grumpy. And today, well, yesterday, I finally had it come back. You know, I had a real problem. Why the fuck would a Windows update completely destroy your CPU usage? Like, what the hell is that? Unbelievable. So, anyway, that's disappointing. I appreciate that they've got so much hardware that they're operating for and stuff. But it is Microsoft. It is the ultimate tech company, all right? And it is 30 years of experience. I just want to point out. Anyway, Christ, well, there's so much to talk about. Let's talk about the fund, I guess, for now. And I'll do this nice and early here. There were a few more people that contributed. You guys in chat were saying, were we at 5k? No, that's. I mean, I want to call you absurd and idiots, but I mean, we did have some crazy bumps before. You got to remember though, this stuff, like, when something starts, it spikes with high activity, and then it pretty much disappears, right? It pretty much will drop off. So I'm amazed we were still getting anyone. Like, yesterday I was amazed we were getting anyone. I mean, it was completely incredible. Hello, Quick Beam. It's good to see you. So, you love my videos. Thank you, says It's Dizzy Shot. Hey, I really appreciate that. Very helpful. I don't really do tutorial videos. But hey, that's very nice of you. So what we got here? We've got Boon Bomb with a sub. Thank you. Toby with £5. Bit late to the party, but I've watched you so long that I feel like I should give a little something back. Thank you, Toby. I really appreciate that. Snowy Strikes, and again, what Toby did there, that was my dream. Just people that would contribute a little after they've been watching a long time, you know, nothing major. Snowy Strikes, £10, keep up the amazing work, thank you very much. Anonymous, £21.89. Mayo, it's good to see you. Good luck with the new PC, building a new one myself, and I just need a 380. And good luck getting one of those. Wow, here's the thing. I've got a bit of a story about the 380 for you guys. A bit of a story, so hold on to your hats. Raja Yali? Raya Yali? Mate, I'll go with that final pronunciation. £5. Cheers, mate. Can't wait for the videos not looking like shit. That's beautifully phrased, I have to say. Radamax with £7.77. You're a legend, WP. Keep on about those End of Dragons videos. Good luck. Thank you. I don't feel like a legend, but thank you. Ember Sapphire, £15, 5 pence. Ryan with no message. Ryan Rempersand with £25. Hope things continue to go well. They are. I mean, in terms of this drive, this is nuts, right? We have Alex with £5. It's not much, but here's my contribution. I hope you can get the new PC soon, bearing in mind the pandemic component shortages. Excited for more Buildcraft, story, lore, etc. Videos on max settings. Warm wishes and stay safe. Thank you. Yeah, I am excited. Look, what I really like is set it and forget it stuff. That's generally my favorite thing. So, graphics are one of those great areas where you get it set up and then it's just forever like this value that people can see. Oh my god, Frodo Baggins. So again, thank you to Alex there for the £5. Sorry, Frodo Laggins. £11, 21 pence. I've watched so much of your content, so I thought I'd keep it up. Give back, keep it up, buddy. Thank you. That was just a second ago. Yeah, you guys all saw that on screen. He's in stream right now, so thank you. Scrolling down, we have Anonymous with £2.17. Thank you. We have Rudy McPherson for £10. Been watching since the Visual Wood days. This channel has helped me unlock so much value I never would have known existed in Guild Wars 2. I really appreciate the content over the years, especially the Let's Plays. They're so high effort and often elevate the games. Thank you very much. Yeah, I know I've got some disappointed people that the LPs aren't going on right now, but look, my mindset, that video, it is time for you to unsubscribe. My mindset has not changed at all. It's just we've got an expansion and all that other stuff is still there, and I am still very, very keen on it. Especially with the FF12 stuff, because we haven't even really got into the juicy bits, you know. We haven't really got to the really cool bit where I get to start showing you where they started running out of road and stuff. I also had a message from the creator of the SFF mods 2 days ago. I guess I shouldn't talk about his projects, but he was inspired by my refinements to his mod, I guess, to a certain degree. And he's way more talented than me and way more diligent than me. You know, I work in these fucking crazy bursts. And then it kind of falls off. But this guy's just like, he's like Shaman, you know? He'll just keep hammering away in the background, in the background, in the background. It's funny because when I first spoke to that guy, he was super burned out of FF12. And I was ultra into FF12. And I was talking about all these things I wanted to see in SFF and all the stuff he could take or do with it. But he was burnt out and he wasn't really doing anything. So I figured, screw it, I'll figure it out myself and I'll do these little refinements. And then it became my tweak mod. But he was burnt out and I was super into it. And now it's kind of reversed, you know. I'm not into it at the moment. I would call myself burnt out for sure. Just because we lost our momentum. And, you know, there's that thing about how it's easier to keep a car rolling than to start one up kind of thing. Do you get what I mean? I that is me, you know, that whole like at rest, starting moving, you know, I'm so inertia and momentum oriented. It's nuts. I am so momentum. It's actually scary. I feel like if I could take a pill to stop me being so inertia oriented, I would take it in a second because I think it's one of my biggest flaws. Anyway, I'm now the stopped ball and he's the one rolling. Anyway, and we just never lined up. So Rudy, thank you very much. My own Inferno 5918 with £50. Thank you. So this was a big one here. I really enjoy the content, WP. I love the Guild Wars fanboy in you. I'm a long-time casual player. I get to see so much of a game franchise we both love through your eyes. Mike hack or not? Thank you. What do you mean Mike hack? Do you just mean like I don't know what you mean. What do you mean? Just that I'm messing with it at the moment. French Toast subbed. Steve Provencher with £5. Hey WP, I started playing Guild Wars 2 in early 2020. I've started watching your videos from Core to Icebrood Saga. You've been such a help in getting immersed. Oh, do you know what we should do here? Let's do another round of thingy. So we've got some progress on the background as well. I've watched your videos from Core to the Icebrood Saga. You've been such a help in keeping immersed and invested in the lore of Tyria throughout the seasons and the expansions. Good luck with the new PC. Thank you very much. I'm glad you feel that way. Because, you know, if you go back enough, you can hear me chatting about how I wish I'd covered Season 1 different and all sorts of stuff. I pretty much wish I'd covered Season 4 different as well. I really regret not covering Season 4 with the same, to the same bar that I covered Season 3. I don't think I've got back to my level of Season 3, and it's a shame. I don't know what it was either that sort of drained me with that. But I do really regret that. You know, it's a shame. Like with Season 3, when the map was coming out, I'd have like 6 videos on release day. I'd have like a map exploration, a story summary, a this, a that. You know, I'd really take advantage of the preview and all those things. And for Season 4, I sort of, I don't know, realized, I sort of felt like none of that really mattered anymore. And I didn't really do it anymore. But hey. Don't worry, ArenaNet haven't either. No, fanboying during Thunderhead. Look, me being excited about a patch is not the same as what I'm talking about. You know, I'm talking about content coverage, breadth, and quality. I really think Season 4 was very good in retrospect. I am under the impression it has been grown on you as well. Yeah, I think it has, Ailes. Well, Season 4 and Icebrood Saga. This is a bit weird. I feel like so much of it, to play it in the moment for me, has been really good. And I can, you know, you can't really be objective about any of this stuff. But you can very closely say, you know, this is amazing. There's nothing wrong with this. Is very, very, very good. You know, I think about any individual moment during Season 4 especially, but Icebrood Saga 2 largely. And it's like, yeah, this was good. This was really good. And I feel like I enjoy it in the moment, but as soon as it's over, it's like, it gets like crushed. It gets like shrouded away. It gets lost and evaporated, you know? And then there's just this other overwhelming, like, I don't know, sensation that the saga is not, or the season is not what it should be or something. I don't know, that like, so now you don't respect, you're not like, it doesn't linger. The bright light of what those patches are didn't linger. And I wonder why that is. Maybe that's just something about my own mental state during that time, but I also kind of feel like it might just be that I have spent so long examining and wondering about fundamental issues of the game that it's really hard to, you know, so you get these flash in the pans, these amazing moments with the living world, but they can't dislodge the rest, you know what I mean? For a meaning. So maybe it's that. Because I think about all that period of time, that's also when I'm like, I was PvPing a lot in a dead side of the game, you know, that absolutely had no future, PvP. And that's also a time where a lot of world versus worlders feel that way. It's a time where, for all of that, you know, there's all been these, what I would call, grievances is probably a bit of a strong word, but, you know, these issues, I think, with core and new player retention and shit like that. So, and the raiding scene. So I think all these other, like, fundamentals of Guild Wars 2, because they were in somewhat disarray, or felt like they were in disarray. I don't want to say they actually were, because, you know, public perspective is not always aligned with reality, but public perspective can't be denied. And yeah, because there was all of that stuff going on. I feel like maybe somehow that managed to diminish the patches, even though the patches themselves are good. And you can see it the second you go back to any of them. You play any of those little missions, you're like, fuck, man, yeah, this is good. Why doesn't this stand out? So I don't know, maybe it's something like that. It's weird. I mean, we're kind of down a rabbit hole here, but there you have it. Anyway, back to the messages. Where was I? We just read Steve's. Ryan, we have with £36. Been a long time subscriber since long before the launch of Guild Wars 2. I hope this gets your PC up to par. Jacob Road, enjoy the PC, though I prefer Max. That's interesting. I feel like I don't interact with anyone that prefers Max anymore. Sometimes I watch like a tutorial about like some kind of creative software, especially at the moment where I'm reading so much about sound mixing and stuff. And they'll be doing the tutorial on a Mac because so many creatives fucking paid over the nose for a Mac. So it became like a thing for Mac. But aside from that, you know, and a lot of these are invariably older as well. I don't know. I think Apple's stock went up massively last week, though, didn't it? They reported better earnings than normal or something. What else we got? Red Eye the Wall, £7. Not much, but all I can afford right now. That's fine, man. £7. Upgrade your potato machine. I've loved your content for years. Thank you. Taggy Cristiano with £18.11. No message. Anonymous with £4.39. No. They say thank you for hours of entertainment. Love heart. Thank you. Mockerade with £25. Your takes on certain things may make me big mad on occasion. But everyone deserves a sweet PC, in my opinion. So here's my contribution. Dude, I gotta say, so I'm not very tolerant, I think. If I, like, hear someone saying something that I completely disagree with to the point that it makes me mad, I don't know, I have a difficult time getting over that. So I have quite a lot of respect for, what was his name again? Mockerade here. If I've managed to make you big mad, and here you are, send a little donation, I really appreciate that. Thank you, man. You're a good guy. Oh my god, Omega Flames is back. Play the boss music. What is this? Omega Flames gifted 5 subs. Benjin got 1. Zelkaway, Squeak, FTC sub. Fondavals, Friends cover. I actually really love what Omega Flames is doing here, because it's kind of rebuilding the baseline of the subs we used to have. I don't want to say what the level was before my break, because I don't want to, like, I don't want this guy to be like, oh yeah, I'll get up to that. But it's kind of cool how it's like accelerated start. Is what he's doing here. This is amazing. Thank you very much. Imagine being mad about opinions. I mean, look, I've been there. I've been mad about opinions. Do you know what my biggest problem is? My biggest problem is people who have already found... This is completely inobjective and asshole-ish, all right? I'm not a good guy. What I'm about to say, I'm not a good guy. But when there are people that are already really successful, and particularly when it's like they have a media platform, when they have a huge following, basically, I get really mad if they come to something I love and start talking about it, but they don't know as much as me. I get really mad. And we talked about this on, and like, they're just objectively wrong about stuff. That proper tilts me. That really aggravates me. And I'll tell you what it is. It's pure envy and jealousy. That is all it is. Or that's what it's rooted in. We were talking about it in one of the YouTube videos. You know, when I did the Guild Wars 2 Graveyard stuff, and there were, like, basically a couple of nerds on it on Reddit that were really mad if the facts didn't line up 100% perfectly. What was it? It was something about Heart of Thorns. Anyway, do you remember that? In the before times. Actually, that was in the middle of the pandemic still. Anyway, you know, someone left a comment at that point where they said that there can be a feeling of envy if someone else is rewarded for saying something you already know. Do you remember that comment? And I highlighted it in my video. I said, boom, this is it. This is 100% right. And it's because I resonate with that. What's the word? Fuck, what's the word? That's me. What's the word? It begins with R. Oh my god. Anyway, yeah, I feel like I know that feeling really well. No, resonate works, but it's not accurate enough. There's another word. It's a word like reflect or something. Relate. I relate to that. Relate? Relate's too basic. Surely I didn't forget the word relate. Anyway, yeah, I relate to that. I think relate might be what I'm trying to say. Yeah, proper brain fart moment there. Like the day we forgot Frodo Baggins' second name. That resembles me. It might, yeah, I resemble that. That might have been what tripped it up. That resembles me. I think that's what I was trying to say. And it didn't work unless the whole sentence was restructured. There you go. The guy that said resemble, I think you got it. Frodo Baggins the Grey. Right, yeah, so anyway, that happens to me a lot if someone else with prior success ends up talking about something I know about. I'm like, ah. And I just need to, you know, stop being a little baby. Just like anyone who's ever been mad at anything I've ever said, ever, you're just being a baby. I mean, really, that's it. That's just a flaw in your personality. Next, Genie Liza with £21. Thank you so much. No one should bear random crashes. It makes one extremely paranoid while playing. Hopes this helps a bit. Thank you. I think we're back to the stream of yesterday now. And Jeff G, £18.11. Thanks for all the years of thoughtful commentary. Sorry you've had a rough year. Oh, maybe we're not back. Anonymous with £8. 78 pence. Bava? Hey WP, I understand that this is your bucket for the new PC, so here is a little input. I also wanted to say that I'm really happy that you are back online with daily videos and interesting discussions, even considering coming back to the game. Thanks. Thank you very much. I had one comment in all the End of Dragons dailies. I had one comment from a guy who said, fuck me, this is boring. When are we getting back to the LPs? And I was like, oh man, that makes me sad. But it was one guy, you know, you gotta... So I'm that is my biggest insecurity at the moment with it. Well, two. One, I'm upset that the views aren't getting higher. I need to find a way to actually grow the series, you know. Having a baseline every day is nice, but I want to find it. There's that little thing. I don't know what the little thing is I need to do. And you guys are going to talk to me about the video titles, blah, blah, blah. But there's something else. There's something deeper. And then, you know, we just start building. You guys might not know this, but for the entirety of the last month, I was on negative subscribers. I didn't mention it on the videos because I didn't want to... Oh, shit, the portal didn't work. I didn't want to, like, bag people down or whatever because I know it doesn't really matter very much. It's just kind of cutting the chuff away to a certain degree. But I was on negative. Like, more people were leaving my channel than were joining. I've been on negative subs for running End of Dragons Daily. So many of you are so enthusiastic and nice, and it's crazy, the goodwill that's come from it. But it's actually been on a downward climb. I knew that it was going to kind of open at that level, though. And it was only as of 2 days ago we went into the positive. Actually, it was a bit more than that. I think today I'm 18. After a whole month's work, I have grown 18 people. There are 18 individuals on balance that have joined the channel. The thing is, though, like the baseline mix is probably a bit healthier. My big concern is, though, that the people that were all leaving were Final Fantasy fans and Elder Scrolls fans and stuff like that. And clearly I fucked it up. And that sucks, but hopefully they'll be back one day. So, yeah, do YouTube subs mean anything? I mean, no, not really so much. I mean, the bell dilutes it and stuff. And in all honesty, I've never really been that obsessed with the metrics. It's just nowadays where I'm like, you know, I'm fast approaching my 30s, and I need to really figure out, is this a real career? I'm like, do I want some certainty that I'm growing and all that kind of stuff? So then you got to look at it and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, yeah, thank you for saying that End of Dragons Daily is still honest discussions because, you know, the biggest insecurity is that in a month's time, are people going to be like, fucking hell, we're talking about the Tengu again, are we? There's also a weird thing that I've experienced on Twitch. It used to proper stress me out on Twitch or aggravate me on Twitch where, like, there's a discussion that we've had 1,000 times and now someone's in chat asking the same fucking thing again. And, like, I want to be nice, and I want to, like, you know, give people... Because that's what it's all about. It's about the interaction. But what you have to learn to be is this guy that can just say the same thing over and over and over again. And, you know, there's a little bit of that on End of Dragons. You know, a lot of the questions I get, a lot of them are the same questions. Someone dropped me a message, like, 3 days ago, and they said, can't you just do End of Dragons Daily live? Can't this be live? Can we do this live, please? And I think what people don't realize is... that show drops in quality massively if I can't curate the questions and think for myself. Like, the question selection process is really important for the overall quality of those videos, you know? I have to be able to, like, strike that balance of new topics and interesting commentary and stuff like that. It's, you know, that is, like, a huge part of it. And doing it off the cuff live just kills the whole thing, you know? There's a very, very steep difference in whether that series is even remotely quality. So no, I don't want to do that live. I think you do have to be able to curate a little bit, which is fine, and I enjoy doing. But as time goes along, it will get harder, you know. On the other side of it, I'll do one more of these. On the other side of it, I did also have someone say, who was it? I don't want this person to feel bad at all, so I guess I won't say their name, because they shouldn't feel bad. I went on some rant in an End of Dragons Daily recently, which is a topic we've talked about 1,000 times. I can't remember what it was. I mean, I've said this thing, whatever it was, I've said it probably like... I've been saying it over and over again, probably since 2013. Probably 7 years I've been saying this same thing. And there was a comment with someone saying, oh my God, thank you. They said in all caps, thank you for saying the blah, 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 blah. That rant was so important. Thank you. And so on and so on and so on. And I read that message and I was like, well, look at that. Look. Just because you've said it 1,000 times, it doesn't mean you've got through. Like, that's the scary reality of the internet. You can't... It's like the fear that you can't actually do anything of any worth because you cannot affect what people en masse know. It's just too big and too unwieldy, and people are too forgetful, and not everyone's there. It's just too hard, right? You can't do it. So you gotta accept that fact, which means that even if you're saying the same thing the 1,000th time in a row, it's for someone it's the first time they've heard it, and they're thrilled to hear you give the rant that you've given 1,000,000 times. And so yeah, that happened the other day, and I thought, you know what, there you go. That's the other side. It is still worth it. Being annoyed saying the same thing over and over isn't a quality thing. It's a you thing, you know? You shouldn't worry about it because it's not necessarily low quality. You just can't do it too quickly, you know? You can't do it too regularly. So anyway, these are the things that I've been thinking about with End of Dragons Daily. I don't know why we're talking about that right now. Someone prompted that. Oh yeah, Barva said that they were interesting discussions. Thank you, Barva. Next, we've got Snoover. I'm sure we're at yesterday's stream at this point. With £26, you and your videos helped me through so many hard times. There was always something to look forward to at the end of the long day, and it's a pleasure to help you, even if just a little bit in return. Thank you, WP, for all your dedication and hard work. Thank you very much. Sorry for my previous message. Yeah, and then we have Stefan. We're back at yesterday's thing. Speaking about hard times, I'm not going to linger on this. I think it's fine. But you know how I tweeted about my mum? And then yesterday, literally yesterday, I said that I waited a long time for that tweet until I was sure she was going to be okay. Because I didn't want to do a big tweet revealing something very private about my mum's health. And then I have to kind of go back on it. Yeah, well, an ambulance picked her up yesterday, and she went back into the hospital yesterday. So, egg on my face. I mean, I don't know. So that was a bit more stress for me yesterday. But I did have a call with her by the end of the day, and it sounds like it might have been a false alarm. It was like a lot of abdominal pain and pressure, basically, which I think is just lingering inflammation from all the scarring in her lungs and stuff. But it was really worried, you know, she went in pain. She was in, so it was kind of scary, because if I think pain, I think like organ damage and shit. But, so yeah, there was a good like 6 hours yesterday where I was like back in that place. I was back in that fucking stressed out, shitting myself phase until at the end of the day I had a ring, and she can still talk and stuff. It's nothing like when she was bad. So, you know, I think it's still fine, and just another little add-on to the story for anyone else who ends up having a COVID disaster. But yeah, so that was the thing yesterday. All right, we've now read all of the messages. Oh, Wormain just subbed. Thanks, man. It's been a while since I was subbed. Yeah, I recognise your name. Thanks, man. Thanks for getting me back into the game. Love the podcast. Keep doing. Thank you. I'll keep doing. When do you think we'll get another FF episode? Like I said, I actually have a nearly fully produced episode on my hard drive at the moment. It just needs a bit of post-commentary. I experienced 3 crashes in the middle of the production of the episode, and it killed the fun for me. You're not going to be able to detect it, all right, because I'm a master. You're not going to be able to detect it. But I can honestly say producing that Final Fantasy video, that FF12 video, was one of the worst experiences I've ever had making a video. And it's not because the game was bad, and it's not because the way we were playing the game was bad, or anything about the video is going to be bad. It's just the stress of the crashes. You know, not even when I did, like, hardcore stuff with videos in the past, where I'd be, like, in a 3-hour recording session or something, and I wouldn't save in the middle. Or, you know, like, the Underworld, like, hero only runs and stuff from Guild and all that kind of stuff, and then I die at the end, and I have to redo the whole thing. Not even though it stressed me out as much, gave me as much anxiety as that goddamn video. And then when it did crash, on the second of the crashes, the third wasn't quite so bad, because I guess the anticipation helped me a bit. But on the second of those crashes, it was so, like, God, I walked away from the PC, and I just laid down, and I was just like, it was horrible. because I'd done a whole sequence on the licensed boards and like setting up everyone's gambits in a fun way, and I talked about all these like little mechanical things, and it was one of those recordings, right? This often happens with LPs where my note structure wasn't that well defined. So I was kind of being a bit jazzy and just sort of, you know, just going wherever my brain wanted to go. And I felt as I did it that the commentary that came out was really good. Like, I'd established some interesting concepts. I'd explained them in decent ways. I hadn't spent hours on it. You know, we'd got through in a reasonable amount of time. I was just really happy with it. And it was the kind of thing, because there was no note structure that had led it. And it was just, we're talking about like a 10-minute period in a 35-minute crash. That when the crash came in and I realized I'd lost all of that, it was just, I mean, everyone's familiar with this. Everyone knows this. But for some reason, it just proper got to me, that video. And with the Daggerfall stuff happening like a week before that, oh, it wasn't fun. Anyway, so let's talk about the 3080. Well, unless people have got something in chat for me. Iron Bolt, I had a question. Maybe do a contest, submit your build and fashion. I actually love that idea. Hold on. Didn't I mention that out loud? Didn't I say that? I love that idea because of my Revenant Dark Knight, you know. He's got a cool Dark Knighty build. He's got cool Dark Knighty mounts. He's got a cool Dark Knighty outfit. The Dark Knight. And I was talking about, like, Mike's Skyrim builds and stuff like that. And I kind of feel like that could work in Guild Wars. But, I don't want to do that until I can get better graphics. Because, like, who's really going to care before that? Do I prefer Elder Scrolls or Final Fantasy World? It's weird. I kind of view Final Fantasy as, like, kid me and young teenager me. That's like a young thing for me. That's something I was a fan of when I was younger. Like, I played 15 recently, but I couldn't finish it. I never managed to quite finish it. I enjoyed it, and it was pretty cool, and I liked all the nostalgia bomb features and stuff, but I never actually finished 15. Oh, my dog just vomited right next to me. Do you want to go out? Oh my god. Did you guys hear that? Oh, that's gross. Alright, hold on 1 second, guys. All right, I've got it soaking. It should be okay. We can continue doing this. Yeah, it's hard because he stands by the door constantly while I'm recording, or now while I'm streaming. And you never know whether he actually wants to go out. Do you remember yesterday he went out? Well, I guess he was in my peripheral near the door. I didn't realize he... to be honest, he just ran over and vomited right next to the door. He didn't give me much time, to be honest. Man, I hope he's all right. Oh, your dog had diarrhea yesterday and you didn't notice until you stepped in it. That sucks, man. Well, look, it's okay. I get it. I'm not anticipating doing a really long stream here today anyway, so I can clean that up. Such vomit, very puke. Gross. Good thing we don't have a puppy cam. Well, I do have cameras of him. Right, what were we talking about? What was it? Oh, do I prefer Elder Scrolls or Final Fantasy? So, you know, I like them. I like Final Fantasy, but I haven't really been into it as an adult at all, really. So I don't really feel like a fan. However, Elder Scrolls is kind of the inverse of that. I started getting really... I mean, I was always playing Elder Scrolls and familiar with it, but I only really started getting into it in my mid-teens and then through my adult life. So... But even Elder Scrolls I've hardly played recently. I'm a little bit worried. On Discord, I was talking in the Patreon lounge about how I was trying to get into Fallout a bit more last year as well. I was playing New Vegas and like quite a few things, but I played 70. Well, what am I talking about? I played Vegas and 76. And they're not clicking. I don't know what it is. I'm really scared that the massively open world format is not gelling with me anymore, because I love those universes, but I feel like the format of RPG is starting to, like, I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like I need to play it enough, and then it will click, and then I'll really enjoy it again. There's something about the shallowness of it or whatever. So it's a weird one. I think in recent years, the games I'm most interested in are RTS and Grand Strategy. Like, I was watching a lot of Civ 6 stuff, and I was like, maybe I should play Civ 6. And I picked up Total War Warhammer yesterday because it's on massive deep discount. It's 66% off, a tenner for that game. So I bought that, and I'm excited to play that with a friend of mine, and I've been watching him doing it constantly. And obviously I've been into Paradox stuff, so I don't know. I feel like the genres are shifting, and Elder Scrolls doesn't cover those genres. So, I don't know. It kind of sucks. I find those games really capture my imagination. I get so pumped and excited in those games. I really do. So, I don't know. Do we do another round? I guess we do another round. Right. So yeah, the 3080. Someone mentioned, like, are we going to get a 3080 or try and get one, but they'll be hard to find. So I was reading a lot more about NVIDIA 3D last night. First of all, I realized, okay, so I have my old PC, the one that I shot the Guild Wars 1 LP on, right? So this is like a 2008 PC, because I was shooting the series in 2010. Actually, do you guys remember, I upgraded my PC right in the middle. I think I used money from work after Prophecies to upgrade, because do you remember, Prophecies was a 720 series, and I went to 1080 with Factions. I think it's because I bought a new GPU or something right between those two. Yeah, I know you're not meant to kill the enemies. I know. I'm not really focused on the game. I'm completely thrown off now. What was it saying? Oh yeah, I upgraded, but that old PC, right? I've just had that sitting about, and so and it's got a little monitor on a desk out there. Now I bought the monitor a while ago, maybe like 2.5 years ago. I bought this monitor, and it was my first experience with high refresh rate monitors. And it's a 1080p monitor. It's not 1440. It's not 4K. It's not OLED. It's not an IPS display. It's a TN panel, but it's high refresh rate, really high refresh rate, and it's supposedly really low latency. The monitor I use right now is 5 ms. You know, this is how they market it or whatever, and that one's 1 ms. And anyway, I wanted to try it to see if it would be really fun to play games on it. I never really got it that much, and because it's only a 1080p monitor, and I'd rather have 1440p. For the extra workspace. That monitor I just never really cared about. I bought it, but it's just been with my old PC, just sitting there in case I wanted to use it. Anyway, I took a little look at it, and it's an NVIDIA 3D Vision ready monitor, because all you actually need is high refresh rate. That's it. You just need really high refresh rate, and specifically with NVIDIA 3D Vision, you need it to be like compatible or whatever. There's some monitors that are high refresh rate, but aren't. The last ones they ever made were in 2018, by the way. Like, so basically, I did a ton of... So I realized I have one of these monitors. If I can buy the NVIDIA 3D Vision kit, I can actually check out what Guild Wars 2 stereo looks like without even investing much. I could do it on this current PC, and I could review it. So it would be the cost of an NVIDIA 3D Vision kit, which I can definitely afford with this PC fund. Now, they don't support it anymore. They don't produce those anymore. You can't buy them new. So you have to buy them secondhand, and you have to get lucky with the price and the condition that you're getting it secondhand. So I was looking on eBay, and some people are proper charging like 200 quid for this fucking thing. I don't know what it costs when it was new. But yeah, I'm thinking I can pick up one of those from eBay. You know, find one in the 100, 150 range. And then I can get a couple of videos I can actually try it out, because I already have a monitor. And the monitor's not great. It's not going to have great viewing angles. It's not going to have great colors. It's not very high resolution. But it's enough to check the technology and review the technology, you know, which is what I'm really interested in. So yeah, when I discovered that yesterday, I was reading, oh my God. You know how, like, I'm kind of arrogant in one way, right? The way I'm arrogant is I see it as I've been covering Guild Wars every patch. Oh, he's barking now, so I should probably let him in. Give me a second, and then I'll tell you how arrogant I am. All right, I'm back. Christ, having a break in the middle of this conversation really illustrates to me just how waffly and boring I'm being. Yeah, so look, I'm kind of arrogant because I've been covering the game for so long, and I've been watching people's responses to patches for so long. I've been getting comments about, I've read and had millions of comments and forms of discussion about Guild Wars, like for years and years and years. So naturally, I feel like I pretty much know the game. I know where it's been. I know what people have been saying and feeling and stuff. And yesterday, I had the coolest, craziest experience where I felt like a complete nobody that had absolutely no clue about any of this game, because I exercised my Google foo, and I think I have now read. It took me hours. I think I have now read basically every thread that has ever existed on first-party NVIDIA sites, on the Meant to Be Seen forums, on the Guild Wars 2 forums, and on Game FAQs. There's probably more places. I haven't checked Steam community. Well, we're not on Steam. About 3D vision technology. And it's crazy. It's like a whole other history to Guild Wars that I've never interfaced with. It's like all these people talking about patches that broke this, and then patches that fixed this, and devs that worked on this, and devs that worked on that, and you're reading the threads, it's like 9 years ago. This is what everyone was saying at launch, and their reviews of it at launch. Here's what people were saying 6 years ago. Here's some threads where clearly like they're alluding to the launch of Heart of Thorns. Here's a thread where they're talking about... Shit, I should have grabbed at least one of those. Here's a thread where they're talking about, the POF stuff. Here's a thread on Reddit from 2020. Like, it's wild. It is really weird. And I got to say, by the way, some of those guys are crazy. Like, truly crazy. Like, I have to assume anyone that's been looking at 3D technology, they're adults. They've got money. They've probably got a well-paying job. You'd think that they'd be at least reasonably well-adjusted. Emotionally intelligent people that know how to have a discussion, know how to not be rude. You expect these things of normal human beings, don't you? Fuck me, some of these people in the 3D community, they're mental. Like, the language they use. Like, some guy... Right, let's be clear. NVIDIA doesn't give a fuck about it anymore. None of their new drivers even work anymore. They don't produce the kits anymore. Monitor manufacturers don't include the chip anymore. There's nothing. It's dead, all right? It's over. It's dead, all right? ArenaNet does not have an obligation to keep running with it. I'm sorry. No matter how amazing it is, and I appreciate a ton of you guys think it's truly amazing. Like, God, they think it's like God's greatest gift to the MMO scene. Guild Wars is the ultimate MMO because it had such good stereo, apparently. These are all very exciting. I get it. It was good. But it's over, mate. It's over. And this guy, like... I don't want to be too specific. A guy basically was saying that ArenaNet was cruel. C-R-U-E-L. Cruel. Cruel for not focusing on stereo 3D in this patch, and it messed up the shadows. And how seething he was that they would change, and going on and on and on about how Guild Wars is the only thing he ever bought one of these 3D monitors for, and he'll never play it without one, and he spent thousands on the gem, blah, 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 blah. I get it, it's good, man, but I mean, look, what do you take them for? You realise they're adults, yeah? They're not children. You're trying to, like, manipulate them, like, emotionally about, like, that it's so important, and oh my God, you're kicking me like a damaged, a bullied dog or something. Like, come on, man. Come on. How old are you? Like, it's crazy. And it's not just one guy. It's like a lot of people. I don't know whether that's just forums, I think it might be. And I read a lot of that, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm not this guy, am I? I don't do that, but in YouTube video form, do I? Have I ever called ArenaNet cruel? Have I ever called ArenaNet cruel for a patch? I think, thankfully, I've never quite gone that far. I think we're all right. So anyway, but people do seem really blown away with it. It sounds like there's some shadow issues, especially. It sounds like the minimap doesn't get rendered at depth properly. And there was a patch around HOT that broke a lot of stuff, but then they fixed it. Even during HOT, they fixed it, which is pretty nice. It's very difficult to find anything Path of Fire error. Like, very few people were talking about a Path of Fire error. And ultimately, that's because it's hard to get a hold of the technology. So you never know. with ArenaNet like formally cancelling Mac support and stuff, I think your odds of them looking at 3D vision drivers are pretty low at this point. But you never know. People might be able to hack some stuff with the shaders and figure it out. There's also a weird kind of almost slimy underbelly to all of it, because the Helix Vision mod that looks at Guild Wars 2's shaders, a bit like Guild Wars 2 Hookers does and stuff, no one talks about it on any of the main areas because they're all scared that ArenaNet will shut it down because, you know, they think it will be abused in PvP or whatever. So, like, you've got all these, like, you've got, like, this tiny community, and then there's, like, this other fragment of the tiny community that's trying to be secretive about one of the tools and stuff. The tool hasn't been updated for very long. All right, finally, that brings us to the 3080. Oh, just to cap off that other point. Yeah, so it was fascinating to me to just read this whole side of the game that it was alien to me. I didn't realize that all this was going on, all this conversation, all these people talking about all these elements of these Guild Wars patches. And here I am thinking I know pretty much what's been going on. And there was just a whole side of it that I didn't. And I wonder about, like, what other situations there are for that. You know. In any case, yeah, bringing me to the 3080. I don't know whether, for this 3D project, I think it doesn't, that hardware doesn't support it at all anymore. But maybe it does on DirectX 9. I don't know. I don't know. And I don't know anyone that plays this game in 3D in the modern era, let alone on that kind of hardware. So, I don't know. Anyway, it's kind of interesting that maybe we can't get one of those cards. Maybe they're overpriced. And maybe they're not even compatible with one of the projects we want to do. But again, now that I know, I don't know. I think I could just try it on my current thing, hope it doesn't crash, and just plug in that other monitor, that TN panel. Right, so that's it. Let's finish this thing with this favor, and then we'll move on. I'm at the point where I made coffee before the stream. It's now the perfect temperature to drink. Imagine calling them cruel for that while PvP and World vs. World has no updated anymore. You are joking, aren't you? You are fucking joking. They're not cruel for that either. Nothing that this game studio has done, making a buy-to-play experience that you happen to have purchased, nothing that they have done is cruel. I mean, Christ. You find out that they're kicking dogs, then you can tell me that they're cruel. 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. My phone was going. Yeah. Cruel implies malicious intent. It doesn't imply malicious intent, does it? I think it's pretty much baked in. Show me some cruelty that isn't malicious. Show me some cruelty that isn't deliberate. If it's not deliberate, it's not cruel, is it? I don't think it's an implication. I think it's the definition. Do you need help with picking the best parts for the PC? I built mine 2 weeks ago after 3 months of intensely researching every part and could easily put together a list of the best bang for the buck package. Actually, I will take your advice. I've been taking anyone and everyone's advice about this. So yeah, if you send me a big ass wall of text of all your favorite stuff, imagine you had this budget. Where would you go? How would you do it? The other thing, by the way, about this budget is, I don't know, I kind of want to look at microphones. Is that stupid? Probably. I don't know. I'm thinking of trying a dynamic mic again instead of a compressor and see if, I don't know, but one that's better than a Yeti. I thought RGB died last year. Yeah, I don't care about that stuff. I really don't care. Give me a chassis that's a big black box that with no window, but good airflow, and I'm happy. All right, honestly. Okay, someone pick a class for the achievement we're going to do. Hopefully Kato's around. If not, I'll do it through the wiki. When are you getting a dog cam so we can have someone to watch? I might bring the dog cam back. I might not. I don't know. Ellie, Rev, Scrapper. Right, I'll do Ellie, because I've been very unsatisfied with Ellie lately, and I don't know what to do to have more fun with it. So let's try a Power Weaver. Somebody gave me a review of my open world Tempest build and said that on balance, they prefer Power Weaver. So let's try it out. I think I'm on a Condi setup at the moment. I'm trying Weaver runes here, right, with shit tons of stances. So the barrier, look at this barrier. The barrier is just bonkers off the charts. It's just crazy amounts of barrier because you're spamming a lot of that up. But overall, I'm not, I don't know. I'm not feeling it in terms of sustain, and I'm not feeling it in terms of pressure. So let's see what we got here. Cleric, Magi, Grieving, Minstrel, Zealots, and then this is just called Wildverse as well. So I don't have a Berserker set on this at the moment. Is it just that she doesn't have it equipped? Oh, good. Okay, I can actually pull something out of my bank then. Because I've got a really messy bank at the moment. Do you guys remember me what's a night? I'm going to use my pass because I don't want to crash in a major city. Do you guys remember me talking about Eternal Ring? The game that the Dark Souls guys made before Dark Souls that I was a fan of, and then I didn't realize Dark Souls was the same studio, and if I had, I probably would have been into Dark Souls years ago. In that game, like, the whole point is you can craft and collect all these different rings, and I loved that system. They were rendered so beautifully, and it was very cool. And one of my little Guild Wars projects that I like the idea of at the moment is having every version of an Ascended ring that is possible. Some of them are removed, like the White Ring of Life, or whatever it's called, the White Ring of Death. It was one of the old Magic Find rings, right? That's not in the game anymore. So if you've still got it on your account, cool. If not, then no, you'll never have it. So there's a few rings like that I can't do. And ignoring those, though, I kind of want to have like a collection of every Ascended ring, which is great. And it means that I'm actually spending laurels again. You'll notice I'm out of laurels, man. I spent a shit ton of laurels for T6 mats for the legendary thing. I basically drained these, and I kind of regret it a little bit now. But now I'm spending them all on rings, so I'm completely empty on those. Right, where the hell is just the regular bank here? I don't want to do it through a crafting station. I guess I can, whatever. Oh god, you guys can't hear the game? I'm getting flashbacks to shit that used to really aggravate me about streaming. I've got to figure something new out so I'm not messing with those sliders. Right, so yeah, anyway, the way that I have my bank set up is like the stuff's meant to be paired together. So for example, all of these are the same stat, right? What is this? Cavalier? I think this is Cavalier, right? Dungeon trinkets, Ascended rings, and the idea is to get them all attuned and infused as well by the end. Backpack and amulet together. This amulet I should probably change to Gwen's amulet, because if you notice, a lot of it's Ascalon themed. You've got Rurik's Royal Signet Ring with Adalbern's Royal Signet Ring, and then you could have like Gwen's amulet up here. These two don't really fit, but they were added later with the dungeons. Anyway, and then over off on the side, you know, you've got, what is this, Rampages here. And they're all together, and so on and so on. But the POF ones I haven't done, so this is the POF stuff. I've just been using stat swappable things for POF. But so this is Grieving here, which I'll probably put on my rev when it's done. Janice's Stained Pectoral. I got to do these. And then over here we have... oh god, what was this set called? Isn't this... This isn't the Druid set that people were running. Anyway, you would work with these. Oh wait, this is what Druids were running for a while. Harrier, yeah, this is Harrier, isn't it? I think this is... I thought Harrier was Healing Power Major, not Power Major. Anyway, why else was I on my bank? Oh yeah, so anyway, I've got to clean it up. So, and I did notice that I have some light armor in here. This was Necro armor, because this is PVF, not PF. PP. Shamans. Nomads. Sinister. Oh, thank God for this. The final one. Here you go. Here's a light armor Zerka stuff. Excellent. Weird skin set, but fine. Maybe I should go PVF, actually, on lists. Because there's always that question of wanting a little bit more sustain. Now, there's Assassin's Trinkets here. Surely I have another set of Zerk. Does she not have any Zerk trinkets on her? Wild. I had all this loaded up on her when I was trying out that staff build just a few months ago. That staff build, man, I really feel like I had a weird moment in life with that. Because that completely transformed everything. I was not playing much Guild Wars. And then I decided to try the staff build with as much power as humanly possible. And then I realized it wasn't that fun. And that led me to... I don't know, something... It basically led me to doing the legendary grind thing. And it led me to PvP. And PvP led me to the tournaments. And it all leads to this and bringing streams back and stuff. If I hadn't done that staff build, we would be in a very different place right now. Really. It's really strange. But everything spiraled out of that. Everything. I don't know. I guess she doesn't have trinkets with her at the moment. I'll have a random character on my account that's got a ton of them. So I'll just go assassins for now. Because it's close enough. It might even be beneficial. We'll have a look at the conversion on the Grandmaster trait in a minute. And now as for weapons, I mean, we could do legendaries. And just stat swap them. Well, here's a Zerk sword, so we'll grab that. Yeah, this is good. This is going to clean them out. Honestly, build templates were so good for the banking system. I just need to actually spend some time. That's an Assassin's Warhorn. Probably should be on list. Let's just type that. Focus, maybe? Focus isn't that fun in PvE. We do have a Mistlord one. We could just stat select. And we have a Dina's necklace. Let's try Dagger. Dagger is really what I want to run in the offhand. Dagger skin. I mean, we could just do the Fang. Yeah, let's just do the Fang. It's not going to be perfect, but whatever. Marauders here. Actually, Marauder is probably what I'd like to run most on this. If I could make all of this Marauder right now, if it was all the legendary stuff, which I have on my Mesmer for Wild vs. Wild, I'd probably do Marauder. Right, so then what would we do? Probably want to pick up Air instead. I don't know. All three Grandmasters are kind of compelling. I kind of like the idea of playing Lightning Rod. Definitely Raging Storm here. One with Air will probably feel a lot more impactful than Ferocious Winds, maybe. This is not much. Mind you, we do have a lot of precision. Fine, we'll go with the Frosty for now and just see how we feel. And then Elements of Rage instead of Invigorating Strike, Swift Revenge. I mean, I don't want to go too glassy, that's the thing. I'm definitely going to keep Master's Fortitude. 10% DPS increase while... I kind of want to just keep bolsters at Elements for now. We'll just swap to Elements of Rage. And then, I don't know, as a preliminary setup. We'll just keep the stances. And it's Scholar Runes. I would like to try Weaver Runes again, to be honest, but whatever. Alright, okay, so, let's see. We are going to be doing Searching for Inspiration today. Find a collection of Snargle Goldclaw's books across Tyria to remind him of his literary genius and free him from his writer's block. Oh, wow. Requires access to previous Living World episodes to complete. I never noticed they did that with the UI. That's pretty good. So this will be fun. Let's go over and hear the dialogue that kicked this off again, shall we? FA Weaver is so smooth. It's your primary build. All right then, Mr. Greenbone. How would you augment this? Based on what I just did. Rip to the PvP pile driver build. Well, that still works, man. I mean, you can go in there and try it out. It does still work. It's just a joke build, though, really, right?
Studying under Snargle to I'm his research assistant, editor, chef, secretary, therapist.
You know I don't believe in editors. They're overly opinionated and disrupt my process.
You don't have a process.
That is the process. Life is the process, my dear. We're writing right now as we live and breathe. It's an extemporaneous craft.
You dragged us to the middle of nowhere, freezing, and I followed you because I thought I'd learned something.
Oh, I thought you followed me because you were my friend.
No!
Man, I like these two.
I'm his research assistant.
No, I know.
Editor, chef, secretary, therapist.
I know you are. I know you are. I thought we had another option. New to the game and fairly new to MMOs. Which class do you recommend for someone who leans tanky and likes to play solo PvE stuff? Who leans tanky? Well, I mean that's a comment on a slider there, right? It depends what your baseline idea of what tankiness is, doesn't it? I mean, I actually think probably a Blighter's Boon Reaper is one of the most durable tanky things you could play in PvE. I wish I could say Guardian, but I feel like Guardian is fundamentally a bit volatile with its low health pool. Jarlis Herald, yeah, you could probably do that actually. Yeah, that's a good choice as well. Greetings, avid reader. How may I be of assistance? Would you like me to sign a copy of my latest bestseller? Come to hear the pearls of wisdom from Tyrion's most infamous storyteller? Alright, what are you doing here?
The truth is a tad embarrassing, I'm afraid to say. Due to abrupt and catastrophic circumstances, and to the great disappointment of my fans, I never finished my last novel.
Because you got lost in the Shiver Peaks, chasing whispers.
The consequence of which has been the affliction of terrible and perennial writer's block. It is the struggle of every great author. I decided a bit of traveling would stir the imagination. Perhaps I shall stumble upon... what's the word?
Talent?
Serendipitous inspiration.
This place is so inspiring and not at all dreary.
Oh, I agree. Nonetheless, the creative spark eludes me. I'm still missing something crucial.
Alright, so we're going to help him out, okay? Why do so many of your books explore interspecies romance?
You're asking why I choose to write such controversial narratives. When those who are obstinate and obsolete seek to extinguish your voice, then what you're saying must be important. To love is to want, to desire. And in spite of our differences, all Tyrians possess the appetite of desire. Love is indiscriminate in its numerous splendorous forms. As an author, it is my duty to depict them all.
Okay. Any reviews?
Well, I've been labeled salacious, vulgar, a defiler of moral sensibilities.
Don't forget pompous and pretentious. A writer whose prose is so purple, so tumescent, it'd make his frivolous characters blush.
As I've told you repeatedly, I do not consider the Divinity Chronicle to be a reputable journalistic establishment. And why do you have that rubbish review memorized?
I think it's beautifully written. Sophomoric and tedious. A Krakatorid affair is a narcissistic exertion in...
Critics, what do they know?
She's got a great voice, man. When her voice does like that sultry cracking thing, oh. Alright, what's your secret to writing romance?
Sensuality is the spectrum of all senses. Modern, discontented Tyrians only make love with their eyes. Oh, no. I want readers to gaze upon the form of body. The firm musculature of a Char warrior, and the captivating curves of a Norn. I want them to taste every bead of sweat, to hear the tender raptures of intimacy, and feel the rhythm of their lover's heartbeat as their fingers run through their coarse fur.
Gross.
That is how I grant my readers the escape they long for, to find that fleeting feeling of fulfillment.
The guy that said, seems like everyone's recommending everything, so I'll say the game's pretty balanced. I'll just like to try something random and see how it goes. My recommendation, look, if you want to feel like a tank or if you want to be durable, they're different, you know? Like, I really do think that there are some Reaper variants that are, like, ludicrously durable, but you're not going to really feel very tanky. However, the Jarlis idea is pretty cool because you will feel tanky, you know? You'll feel like you're in big, heavy armor, and you'll feel like you're taunting people in, and you'll feel like you're made of stone and you're stacking damage reduction, so... You know, it's how do you want to feel, really. The game is generally easy enough that most builds will work. It's actually kind of hard to find a build that can't beat the game. I mean, maybe there are some of the more contemporary Living World instances that you will start to really feel the pain on. But generally speaking, I think there are more Snargle fanfics in-game than actual lore books. Yeah, do you know why I think I'm a bit just bummed out by this? It's because they put so much energy into this. And it's like, imagine if they put this energy, but the subject material was like one of the really geeky fucking elements of the thing. Like, it's great. It is great. It's just there's a salty prick inside me that's like, fuck's sake. What, why are you're so enthusiastic about this joke story? Be enthusiastic. Do this for like, why isn't Snargle Goldclaw writing treatises on the politicking of the Jotun? Do you know what I mean? Why is that not as fun? Don't worry, I know why. Okay, finally, Bonnie said some hurtful things there.
Yes, well, Bonnie's always making jokes. Friendly, jovial banter. That's our relationship. Isn't that right, Bonnie? There she goes. Good fun. Good fun.
That's so good, man. What does this remind me of? Oh, there she goes. Good fun. That's some TV right there. What is that?
Yes, well, Bonnie's always making jokes. Friendly, jovial banter. That's our relationship. Isn't that right, Bonnie? There she goes. Good fun. Good fun.
That's like some Seth MacFarlane cartoon kind of thing, you know? Which is to say, it's very, very, very well executed. It's very funny. I like it. It also shows a real understanding and mastery of how this thing is going to feel in-game. To be able to script that and deliver that in the booth and everything and have it work perfectly. You know, the confidence to have the character be completely silent and it's very, very good. Anyway. Right. So, we are searching for inspiration. Let's see what we've got now. Book number 1 is a Krauka-Torrid affair. And yeah, this is basically the Guild Wars Lusty Argonian Maid. But they didn't actually write the Lusty Argonian Maid. That's the other thing, you know. We don't actually read the Krauka-Torrid affair in Guild Wars 2. They didn't actually do it. If you really go back and you play like the Morrowind to Oblivion Elder Scrolls stuff and you really read those books, you'll see just how creative and interesting they are by fully fleshing... Well, you know, they're not full books, realistically, but they properly go into... It's very cool. The main example I always talk about is the guy that wrote the guide to all the cities in Cyrodiil. If you read those books, it's quite transparently obvious the person writing them is a racist dickhead and is, like, really puritanical and just an arsehole. And you just kind of find it between the lines as you read the series of the books in-game. It's very, very cool. Guild Wars has never quite done that, you know? Even though we do now have books in-game, having the multiple layers there like that, it's very, very, very... You know, that was what Bethesda was so good at executing, I think. And all the unreliable narration as well through their in-game textbooks and so on. Right, okay, so, on the front lines of a battle against the Elder Dragon threat, love blooms. Found in a packed camp in Jahai. Oh, okay. Alright, so we're going to Jahai and we'll just go to where we fight the death-branded Shatterer. I'm not sure you'll find anything like that in Guild Wars 2, at least not in open world. I mean, look, I have quite a lot of respect for this thing as well, because, you know, they are dealing with sex. Which...
would be here.
I think Guild Wars has often had like an almost allergic aversion to. Like they're fucking terrified of talking about sex, I think, generally speaking. So it's cool that they do it and they play with it in a really fun way here.
It's like she was born for this.
Obviously, that's not a bad thing, what I just said. There is an audience here and there is an age range to consider and there is, you know, what kind of subject material do you want to do? I'm not saying that they have to be talking about sex, but, you know, it is completely empty.
She'll skin
in this franchise, you know,
and roll his hide into a chew toy for cubs. Don't mess with the vigil. That's all I'll say.
Right, chapter 57. The brandstorm raging outside was a zephyr compared to the storm in Hubert's heart. The door crashed open. To be fair, look, we are getting little excerpts. To be fair, scrap what I just said. Scrap what I just said. I don't know what I'm talking about. Look, I bet all these books together, if we get an excerpt from every single one, we're basically going to get the Lusty Argonian Maid. And I'm going to read it out to you, baby. The door crashed open, and she who haunted him, she who had once been his lover, burst in. The dragon may have crystallized my body, his elite branded sweetheart said. But you, Hubert, you crystallized my heart. Wait, is that a good thing? Hubert asked. She answered by leaning in. Hard angles met soft flesh in a long, passionate, and surprisingly tender kiss. And Hubert realized that maybe, just maybe, he could love again. Oh, there's not a page 2, damn it. Well, look, they don't want to overstay their welcome. So what, this is someone... This is a branded on... What is Hubert? Do you know what? I think Hubert's an Asura. I think this is Asura / branded. I think that's what this is. Alright, next. Love is blind. Hearts collide in the frigid tunnels of the Shiver Peaks. This is found in the grotto in the Thunderhead Peaks. Okay, the frigid tunnels. So are we in the Dwarven area? Oh, I'm getting really into this. Are we going to get some dwarf fanfic here? Am I using any reshade? No, I'm not. This is pure minimum. No reshade. If you're impressed by the way the game looks on this stream, I don't know what kind of tin can you play the game on. But maybe that's just, you know, to the credit of the Living World Season 4 devs for having such fundamentally beautiful, you know, what's the word? Compositions? Layouts of the environment? Is it me, or are American game devs really sexually depraved and horny? No, I don't think so any more than... Well, look, I do think that America has a different culture and a much more uptight attitude to sex. So therefore, I think taboo and stuff like that is a lot more sort of... I do think that there is a little bit more of a fixation, maybe on average, when compared to other cultures. But whether that means that the video games that comes from there have got this thing, not really. And I think that's a bit of an icky generalization you just made there. Not necessarily just sex, but like nudity and stuff as well, you know.
Uncontrollable ancient forces. Yeah, let me try again.
But yeah, again, I'm not... Well, I would say I'm not an American, so maybe I'm not qualified to say anything. But maybe that is why I am qualified, because it's very hard to assess your own culture, do you know what I mean? Your own upbringing. People just assume that what they have always existed in is normal, you know, and everything else on the left or the right of it is, like, out of the ordinary. But the truth is that, you know, that makes you blind to your own extremes.
Who came up with those
right,
names?
Chapter 4. Karenia. Oh, sorry. We need to be sultry again. Karenia, her name was. A single glance from her had changed Svanhild's life. Were all dredge so beautiful? She had never stopped to wonder, not while cutting them down. They had just been a nuisance to be cleared from the foothills. Now questions gnawed at her like starving snow leopards. She had to know more, even if it meant making mountains out of molehills. Ew! There was only one thing left to do. Svanhild had to go undercover. Svanhild had to become a mole. Wait, what does that mean? What? I mean, I get the joke. I guess it's just a joke. That's it. We have to remember that this guy's not meant to be a good writer. Unbelievable. Alright, good. Love is blind. Next. Missed connections. Oh, it's so punny. No matter the distance. Found in the packed base in Dragonfall. Wow, the world map looks really good right now. Okay. It's all just a setup for that dumb play on words. Yeah. Yeah, you're giving me way too much credit if you think I read anything remotely intelligent.
Commander, we've got a plan. First, we need to get rid of the smaller brandstorms dotting the island.
Listen to this
Boris
dialogue.
has sent his brandstorm disruptors to each camp. Don't know how they work, but they do. Once the storms are gone, we can start stockpiling supplies to hit Krauk. Gorik's got some ideas there, of course. When all 3 camps are prepped, we'll take everything we've got and kick that damn dragon where it hurts.
I mentioned I've been very vague about this because it kind of frustrates me. When the Steam release was coming out, I was working on some lore videos that were going to sum up the whole franchise, and I made a really cool intro. And basically what I did was I cut together a bunch of snippets of dialogue about the conflicts with the dragon to put in a montage, like a visual orgy from all the different trailers, played to the backing of Fear Not This Night. And as it goes along, you can hear the voice acting of various big moments in the story, like of the Free Peoples of Tyria struggling against the dragons. So, like, one of the little audio clips I had, if you can imagine this montage with the music of Fear Not This Night in the background, and the trailers going on, I had, like, the Sylvari saying, "Nobody trusts me anymore." And I had, you know, people weeping over the death of their friends and family at the Elder Dragons. And then I had people fighting back. And you remember in the personal story LP, I have that line in the last episode about I saw a white candle in a dark field. So how did you know where to go? Well, I just followed the light. I had like that line in there. And one of the lines when the tempo of the music starts going up and the energy starts getting in, I have Almora here. She's got a passive line where she screams. She goes, "I want that dragon crushed to dust," or something like that. It's a really fucking cool line. And I have her scream that in the background of this video intro, and then it like kicks in and stuff. It was so good. I loved that dialogue. And then the video broke, just by the way, and I kind of had to repiece it together, and I've never got the montage back to where I originally felt it was. And the video was really weird because I had this awesome like cinematic opening, and then my fucking voice comes in saying,
Guild Wars 2 is the world of Elder Dragons in a story of the rising of the dragons over thousands of millennia,
and when I was watching this video that I'd made, or was starting to make, I was like, fuck, I hate this. If I was watching this, I'd turn off it. As soon as this British prick's voice comes on, I would turn this off. Because it's got such a good intro, and then all of a sudden, oh, it's just a random bullshit YouTube video with some guy, like, reading the lore out. And I was so annoyed, and I was like, how do I do this? How do I transition in? And so yeah, I still have the project files around, but it was such a good intro. And that Almora line, oh, it was a killer. What else did I have? I had lines about the Forged and Balthazar and the Zaishan talking about their gods, and I had some whispers from Jormag as well. They cut in at one point. You hear like Jormag whispering. It was just like a massive medley of all the big moments of the whole franchise, and then it cuts to a black screen and it says Guild Wars 2, the lore, the full story, or something like that, and then I start speaking. So yeah. Anyway, Missed Connections by Snargle Goldclaw. Tiani had schemed her way out of the domain of the lost, ducked and weaved across the eternal battlegrounds, and outwitted the Mad King himself. But now, standing at the divide between the mists and Tyria, the afterlife and the life she'd left behind, all her scientific brilliance was suddenly useless. But what drove her wasn't scientific. So she closed her eyes and leapt. A strange tingling, a sinking sensation. Had it worked? She opened her eyes. There, in front of her, was Zip. Her Zip, who, even as she spilled ooze booze all over herself in shock, was still the most beautiful booker she had ever seen. Oh, Asura ex-human! With her feet firmly planted once more on the new ground of Ratasum, Tiani felt something new. Not relief, not determination, but hope. True hope. I don't. That's not even really a joke, is it? I mean, it stinks of Stilton. This is the cheesiest cheese you can imagine, but it's not overtly like ludicrous, though, is it? I wonder why Drizzlewood doesn't act like Dragonfall when it resets. Here you stay in the same mat, and Drizzlewood would transfer you to another instance. Not always. Sometimes you do just teleport back, and it continues, doesn't it? I think whether it transfers you or not is whether they're trying to shift population or something. I don't know. I was wondering that as well. Because I swear sometimes I load in to a new one, sometimes I don't. What kind of human is called Zip? No. The Booker is the human. Oh, or is it a legitimate booker? Is it like a monster? Is it like a big bumbling monster? Slash Asura. I would actually respect Snargle Goldclaw for that a little bit, because he would have to know the customs and culture of the Asura to know that that's a controversial concept. The Ebonlock Covenant. That's a cool name, man. The Ebonlock Covenant? Holy shit. I kind of like that. Love is a battlefield. Confiscated from a brig in Grothmar. Oh my god, we go to Grothmar and go to the cage up there? Booker isn't just idiot in Asuran. It's like specifically like a monstrous, bumbling idiot. And then they kind of just start calling humans it as an insult. And then, and now it's just like, and 250 years later, it's just kind of human now, to a certain degree. I'm sure they'd call Norn and stuff bookers.
He called me a twig and berated me until I left.
That's not actually a crime, you know.
So, next time I should wait until the harassment escalates to assault. Is that it?
Hey, look, flashbacks to school, guys. Let's move up. Oh, it's on the shelf here. Nice. I've tolerated these nonsense novels in the past, but this is going too far. Any more copies of these books found in Blood Legion territory will be considered contraband. Okay. Don't forget, this is a Char author, which is an interesting decision. Runebanger could hardly comprehend what he'd just witnessed. Suddenly, it all made sense. Why Smolder and Empress Jenny had been willing to forget years of hostilities. Why they suddenly spoke so positively about the potential of an alliance between the Char and humans. I like this. This is a good premise. He clutched his mane as furious tears matted his cheeks. That's ruining the ambience. How could Smolder even look at Jenny that way? What about her furless figure? Could possible? Oh no! Look, this is Snargle. That's Snargle's. He doesn't believe in editors. All right, it's fine. He doesn't believe in editors. What about her furless figure could possibly appeal to rugged, tough, well-groomed Char such as they? Burn it all! The mouse didn't even have horns. Did no one appreciate the gentle curve of horns anymore? Smolder's place. Wait, who is speaking? Smolder's place is by my side, as my ally, as my confidant, as my intimate, as my... No. Brood Legion would not stand for this. Not if Runebanger had his way. Runebanger. The thinly veiled tweaks to all the names. Adam Grace. Oh, I love it. Yeah, this is Queen Jenna / Smoder / Banger. Because I'm assuming this is Ruinbringer. Beautiful. I like the idea. I really like the idea of some Char in like a mess hall. Like chuckling over this shit. Like reading it as like a stupid thing. It's not very typical Char, but it's cool. Destiny called, they answered. Destiny's Pledge. Found in Ebonhawk. Ooh. Ooh, who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? I wonder if there's any fan art of this over on Guild Wars Gone Wild. Don't go there on my recommendation. Do you guys ever wonder how many devs have been on Guild Wars Gone Wild? I wonder that. I wonder if there was a day where a memo was sent around the office. They were like, just by the way. Alright, here we go. Most of the writers have been there. Can you imagine they get the ArenaNet tag? That'd be so good. Because they're posted there so often. Hopefully none. No, I would take it as a positive sign that they're in tune and they're in touch and all that kind of stuff. Destiny's Pledge by Snargle Goldclaw. This heavily worn tome is all but illegible. A description of its contents remains preserved by the leather cover. After a devastating rejection by his queen, Captain Rogan Thackeray swore never to love again. But when his duty traps him in a single-cot prison cell with the ruggedly handsome Tribune Gritlock, Rogan's vow is put to the test. From the author of the smash hit A Crowcatoriate Affair comes a sultry dance between human and char, cross-species desire heretofore unexplored. I wonder why they never actually let us read this. Do you think that they were forced with the reality that if they actually wrote an excerpt of this, they would have actually had Logan/Ritlock fanfic in game, and they thought that was a step too far, so they instead just give us a review? People really like that one. I don't know what people are. I don't know why that comes from, but whenever you have like a bromance on screen, any bromance, pick any bromance, just two good guy friends, people are obsessed with having them like fucking. They're just obsessed with it. I suppose that happens with gal pals as well or something. I don't know. Hey Andius, it's good to see you. Welcome, welcome. We've only got 4 more books, guys. Unless no, this isn't even a book. There's only 3 more books, guys. The Passions of Farron. He's rich with a burning passion. All right, I am banned for sedition against the God King and sealed in the warehouse of the Vitendi Academy. And I love that shit. That's funny. That is genuinely funny. The Awakened being fucking furious about this thing. Banned for sedition against the God King. Oh, I gotta read this. Why is Joko in this? Is it Joko X Farron? He's rich with a burning passion. Let's see what we got. Right, the Vitendi Academy Library. When will Guild Wars 3 be out? 2025. No, that's probably a bit late. 2024. If you believe in Guild Wars 3, if you believe that that's actually a thing, or whether it will go by that name or not, if you really do think that, I think 2023 would be the release year. Maybe 2024, actually. Maybe 2024 is realistic. I think I'll go for that. Jesus, this could be anywhere. Yeah, they're saying this one's hard to find. Where is it? Help us, Kato. Because there's a lot of libraries, and they don't give you the icon, right? Guild Wars 3 will come out after WoW 2. It's called Project Titan, I'll have you know. Nature Death, no AWP on Twitch. Hello, man. 46-month streak. Look at that, Nature Death. You're on a 46-month streak. You subbed through all those months. Look at that. He's not the only one. As I said, there's actually quite a lot of people, but it's cool to see you. He didn't want to break the streak, and now this is your redemption moment, you know? Project Titan is Overwatch. Well, I don't know whether that's really fair. I mean, yeah, I guess you can make an argument for one rolling into the other, but obviously they're very different ideas for products. Saying their replacement MMO is the same thing as what eventually became a Team Fortress 2 clone is not quite. Fly from the top, there is a branded crack. Outside. Alright, let's go outside and see. First time catching your stream, finally. Big fan, WP. Thank you very much, Nalum348. It's good to see you, man. And I really appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. No, I'm aware. I'm not. If you guys, I'm not articulating my point about how Titan can eventually becomes Overwatch. Obviously, they're not the same thing. Obviously, there is a through line of progression and development. Yes, but that doesn't mean that that Project Titan is Overwatch in terms of like what they were aiming to be and at what level, at what eras they were being developed and what. Do you guys get what I mean? You guys really don't see that distinction? Alright, okay, yeah, I've explained it all. Okay, we got a weird arrow on the map. Let's see what we got. Up the tower, or? Are you serious? What? This doesn't feel right. There's no way that they want that this is... So we come down here. Oh, we're just in here. This is where the Sunspear thing is. Right. Wow, that's crazy. Good job to the people that found this. I would have been looking for a very long time to that. Alright, here we go. Passions of Farron by Snargle Goldclaw. Look at this, by the way. We've had Icebrood Saga maps, Season 4 maps, and POF maps here. And Corteria. If they put one of these fucking books in Heart of Thorns, that would be amazing. I doubt they will, though. Chapter 1. Deep in the Maguma jungle, the world had just been saved. Morgemoth had fallen in love. Yes, friends, it's the truth. It was not swords that ended the war, for while the Pact Commander had conquered the dragon's mind, Lord Farron had conquered the dragon's heart. No one can know that you still live, Farron said, a single tear flowing down his cheek. They wouldn't believe in you the way I do. I know, my shining knight. Sorry, how can I do a Morgemoth voice? I know, my shining knight. The elder dragon whispered back, and yet, you must leave my side, for you have other lives to save, and more love to give. That is fantastic. Very inspired. That's brilliant. Thank you very much. Alright, next. It takes 2 to Tengu. This is great. Look at all the wordplay. Look at all this talent they have for dicking around. This is brilliant. A forbidden city and a forbidden love. Found in Lion's Arch, unfortunately. Thought we were going to Tyria. Oh my god, it's near... oh, it's in the Asura mansion place. It's addition... oh yeah, good point, Dark. Well done. It's addition because Joko wants people to think he killed Morty. And Passions of Farron says it was the commander. I get you. That's really good. Look at that. Look at that's fucking very coherent through line right there. Oh, we're going to fly in through the top on the skyscraper. Wow, so they actually full-on encourage the use of this place. Oh, I'm actually really loving a lot of the decisions they made here. Wow, this is like they've acknowledged that people come in here. Now that mounts are in the game, I mean, why wouldn't you? And they've integrated, they've brought into the fold. They didn't do any legendary collections or anything here, right? Really good. Really, really good. This is the first time they've done this, right? Oh, that's so cunningly hidden, too. What was the hint? Just Lion's Arch? Holy shit. Wow. I missed out on this hunt. Well, I don't know. This might have been a little bit easy to find because probably the hunters would have checked this quite early. That's really good, though. It takes 2 to Tengu. Oh, we're in Chapter 2. We've missed the start. We're thumbing through real quick. Wait, who's Makoto? I recognize the name. Okay, she's a tiny Asura... wait, no, she's enveloping her tiny Asura lover. Oh, she's a Tengu. Okay. We don't normally allow outsiders within our walls, Makoto said, enveloping her tiny Asura lover in her feathered arms. So you'll have to swear not to tell anyone what you've seen here. Prap gazed in awe at the wonders around him. What happens if I slip up? He thought. He had a hypothesis, of course. But a city built entirely of candy? Why, there were several papers worth of innovations here. Makoto chuckled, entirely mirthlessly. I'll have to kill you, of course. Well, hypothesis confirmed. What is going on here? So obviously it's a play on the Dominion of Winds. Kind of nice to see them having fun with that. What happens if I slip up? Why am I'm reading this seriously. So Snargle has written a fictional idea that in the Dominion of Winds is a city made of candy. Is this like a bit of that Hansel and Gretel thing? I'm looking at it too close, aren't I? There's nothing deeper. That's funny. It's a funny idea. It's like they said, okay, what's the most absurd, stupid idea about what is behind the wall? Okay, it's a sea of candy. So that's what this guy's gonna write his novel about. But the weird kind of like sinister side here is interesting. It's like it's the witch. Missed an opportunity to name the Tengu Fuckbeak. Well, no, see, look, that would be tacky and gross and stupid. And they've managed to avoid that for all of these. They've walked a line and had a lot of fun here, and I think it's very good. Alright, we got the Svan song. Icy Hot, found in Jorah's Keep. Some of them are really easy, and then it's very easy to pinpoint what they're talking about. And others is like, okay. Like, we just did one that it's like, yeah, Lion's Arch somewhere. Go on. Lion's Arch. And now this is like, okay, yeah, this tiny little area of this map is where you have to search. I think it's Candy to Asura, i.e. highly technologically advanced. Oh, really? Did I completely interpret that in like a moronic way? And it was like metaphorical. Oh, I don't know. I don't know whether you're right about that. It's an idea though. It's a concept. Oh God, it's not in this guy's bed, is it? Oh. Oh. Alright, here we go. Svan song. Frist tried to chill his heart, but he couldn't stop the heat rising in his cheeks. He was a good Svanir. He never questioned the teachings of his shaman. He always gave women the cold shoulder, knowing they were unworthy of dragon. But that was before Brenna. Brenna and her skilled sword hand and icy taunts. And her smile. Burning questions exposed cracks in long frozen ideals. What was this strange, molten feeling rising in the pit of his stomach? Was everything he'd been taught a lie? He was beginning to see that maybe he should rest. I can sleep now too. We can dream together beneath the ice. Let's rest, just for a while. Let's give up. All of us together, sleeping forever. I think I'll lie down. This is fucking cool. This is like, this is so on theme with this part of the Icebrood saga, just how dark and manipulative and scary this map is. And this, like, fits. That's kind of cool. Also, I have to say, I wouldn't have been surprised if they had eventually done a story somewhere where one, like, it's a tiny little side story, not a major beat or something, but where a son of Svanir gives up the cause because he falls in love with a woman. Like, that's a very easy thing to do. And like a legitimate thing to do, I think, as well. I mean, a little bit cheesy and a little bit obvious and a little bit easy, right? I get it. But, you know, you're populating an MMO with stories. You've got time. You've got space for a little thing like that. And I'm surprised that there's not, like, a little reference to something like that, an allusion to that, anywhere in some of those Corteria events and Hearts, you know? Could imagine some random-ass escort somewhere of a Svanir turning his back on his friends. But, yeah. Svanir in love with Jormag. Okay, and finally... Oh, that's it. That was it. Well, we missed Kos on Kos. I guess I read that already. Let's just read Kos on Kos. You know, just for the completionists of the stream. I guess I already found that in Eye of the North somewhere. And I do love me some Kos. Yeah, but I became Jewish when I married her, but in Guild Wars 2. Is that a Big Lebowski reference? Where Jeff Bridges is, like, super into, like, Shama Shabbos and the Sabbath and, like, being, like, a ludicrously diligent practicing Jew. And then towards the end of the movie, you realize that, like, he's, like, Polish Catholic. It's just he married a Jewish lady and took the whatever. And now he's divorced. So it's like, what? You stop being Jewish just because you're divorced? No, I'm going to, like, do it for the rest of my life. Like, super, like, hardcore. And it's like a suggestion that he's just got all this unresolved trauma with the divorce of his wife. It's very good. It's such a clever movie. I really like all the little things you can think about. Okay, Records of the Stone Summit and go. Wait, Records of the Stone Summit. Oh, this was the. Did I end up? I don't think I did that video in the end. Oh, we can just read it here. All right, Kos on Kos Uncensored, Chapter 12. Maloney, Dancoro, Talcora. Koss has had many loves in his life, but something was always missing. He'd always needed more. Here finally was the solution. After all, who could ever be more than Koss? Koss gazed longingly into the eyes of his doppelganger, who gazed back with equal affection. The competition each had sought, found. For Koss, an equal. For the doppelganger, a target more worthy than any other. As Koss embraced Koss, their love shifted beyond reality. It defied dimensions, and their journey together was just beginning. This is definitely the most inspired I did. This is fucking hilarious. That's very clear. I never in a million years would have had the imagination to think of a joke piece like that. That is very funny. That's hilarious. The ultimate egoist falling in love with his doppelganger from Augury Rock. Alright, here we go. I've collected every one of your books. Oh, you wank waste. Hold on.
Just timing. It just so happens I've recently completed my final masterpiece. Commander, I have a confession to make. From our very first encounter, I felt something special toward you.
Oh, God.
You are the protagonist I've been searching for my entire career. You are the champion of love. I'm honored to bestow upon you the first copy of my magnum opus.
Oh, God. I guess I should have realized that he could have written one about the commander. Oh, do you go to read it, or what? A first edition autograph with a personal note from the author. I wonder how they considered the stat set there. What item nomenclature is that? Power, precision, toughness, concentration? Oh, it's commanders. Genius. That's commander's stats. That's hilarious. Well done. Commander of your heart. You can read it. Oh, shit. Commander of your heart. Chapter 35. Don't think I haven't noticed. We're going to do Liss's voice, okay? The pack commander says. As your heart... Oh, God. Oh, it's a fucking first-person thing. Oh, this is full-on fanfic here. As your heart skips a beat. Wait, is this second person? How you followed me into danger over and over. How crucial you were against the Risen and the Morgem. You're an invaluable ally. A pause. You should be flattered, you know. But once again... Oh, wait, let me reread that. A pause. You should be flattered, you know. But once again, the meeting she called was strictly professional. Your heart sinks as the silence stretches on, unable to say what you really want. But then the commander moves close. I've also noticed the way you look at me. You can feel her warmth. The way you've always looked at me. So now, the commander continues, taking your hand, I'd like to propose a different pact. A lifelong pact with you. Almost on cue, a flock of snow-white seagulls takes flight. Beautiful. Incredible. Now, if I was male, would they have dynamically swapped the gender there? Which is also something I want to say I appreciate and is pretty cool. You recorded a version of this on the Spud Discord like a year ago. This is a year-old achievement? Fucking hell. That's very, very cool. Honestly, I really enjoyed that. You know my idea for an omnibus? If every stream had been like this, that's what it would have been, a good omnibus. But, you know, you'd have to get 7 achievements in a row like that. I really, really think they did a fantastic job there. A bit of levity and fun in an otherwise pretty heavy season. Thoroughly recommended. That was great. There was absolutely no combat in that whatsoever, so our build, we didn't even try. But hey, you know. Yeah, he does say he if you have a male commander. That's very cool. Well, there you go, guys. That's the stream. So thank you all for watching. I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you again for all the support. In terms of the PC fund and stuff. I'm pretty sure tomorrow I won't have the PC Fun graphic on there. I might leave it. I mean, you might get a couple more people. But, I mean, we can probably clean it up for tomorrow. I might leave it one more, because I think the next End of Dragons Daily mentions it and says thank you. I don't know. But there you go. That was a lot of fun, guys. I hope you all have a nice day or night or whatever's going on with you all. Thanks for all the good chat. Don't forget to come over to the Spud Discords. Talk to me about this achievement, builds, the PC, any of that stuff. 3D Vision. If any of you have played Guild Wars with NVIDIA 3D Vision, talk to me. I'm all ears, baby. Thanks, everyone. Thanks to Kao again, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Oh, wait. Bambi Bunny says I made a donation and WP didn't read it. Oh, I see it here. Are you Snuggles with £4? I'm really sorry. I did miss that. I was really hoping that the cat minis having textured buttholes would be great trivia to mention in your mini pets video. Now you can mention it in the stream. Yeah, I did see that comment about it. Obviously, it got a lot of thumbs up on that video. I don't know what you're talking about, though. I can't really show anyway right now because our graphics are so low. But I did, after I saw that comment about how supposedly the cat mini pets have got textured arseholes, I did log in and start staring at the arseholes of the cats. But you can't really see. Their tails are down. They don't do the real cat thing where their tail's lifted up. And, you know, I had them walking around and stuff. I couldn't really peer in there. It didn't really look like there was much of a texture. So I didn't mention it, I'm afraid. So I don't know. There you go. Thank you very much. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye. But that's just one of the perks of the job, guys. Looking at virtual cats' bums.